Hello, hello, hello. Finally, video time for today. I have been working on my art project all day long and it was super and I absolutely enjoy it. It's super, super, super great. Here's my ocean rock, ocean jade, matches my artwork. It's really, really nice. It feels really good in the hand. This is a fantastic, fantastic rock. This is a real find, this rock. Particularly everything about it. The color is absolutely stunning. And it is real smooth. It's like hand polished, but it's polished by the ocean through millions and millions of years of tumbling past octopuses and whales and mermaids. No, the real mermaids, by the way, are otters and seals and elephant seals. Those are the real mermaids. And also manatees in Florida. All the animals who had gone from land animal back into the ocean, those are mermaid species. Okay. Those are the only mermaids that exist. But it seems too boring for a lot of people. It's not exciting enough. And yeah, and their bodies are like they have just basically all torso. And then in the very end are fins. And inside of those fins are still skeleton like this, fingers. And they used to be feet. Okay, it's reverse evolution, not really reverse. It's evolution, they were land animals and gradually went back in the ocean. And the whales are a more advanced stage of that. Okay. So all of the mermaid animals are an intermediate between the land animal and the whale. Okay. They're on their way to the whale. Not really, because they're cousins, they're side branches. But the side branches tell us about the approximate development of the animals going back into the ocean, the ones that are on the direct lineage of whales. So Pakicetus lived on land in Pakistan. He was a fish eater, fish hunter, and he had fins between the fingers and the toes, and then very gradually went back into the ocean, and then eventually became completely ocean living being. So he still had to come up to the surface, as the whales do. They have to come up to the surface to breathe. And they spit out a bunch of water, and they breathe in oxygen. So they are mammals, like we are. They're more advanced. A lot of people don't know this, so that's why I bring this up in my video. It's very important. So I did my grounding, I did a little bit of hip movement and belly dancing, which is very important to do. I should really be doing this like a cardio exercise every day. I should be doing belly dancing. I'm making a video, and that would be really nice if I wasn't lazy. I would do this every day for an hour, and I recommend that to other people. Danny too, do some belly dancing, that'll be good for you, I promise that. So it always feels good to make the video. I feel like I have friends. It's an illusion. But doesn't matter. Sometimes an illusion can hold us kind of over on the surface, of the ocean, like a snorkel, sort of, so that we don't drown. The illusion snorkel of the ocean. I can imagine having friends. I know I have some friends. I know, I'm just joking around. I know that Sandy loves me. I love her. We're friends. Okay. So I don't know if my family overseas are still considering me a friend. I don't know. I consider them a friend. I'm a friend for them. But if they don't respond to my emails, then I have to let it go. Even if those are my family members. Even though they're blood related to me directly. Okay. Then I'll have to let it go. And that's all there is to it. If people don't want to hang out with me, I have to let it go. I can't be clinging to it. I wish them well. And that applies to everyone in the world. Okay. I don't want to be making anyone feel obligated or something like this. I don't want that. So whatever people, if they don't want to talk to me, if my brother doesn't want to talk to me, that's his business. Well, one time that was like 10 years ago, I was crying over my brother abandoning me and all of that. He had a phase where he was making a lot of money with his art, he made commercial videos for BMW and all of that. And he made music. He had a partner, they were working together. The partner was the businessman. And he was making a lot of money at that time. I said, why don't you save that money? You need to buy a house. I don't need to save any money, And I know he was taking cocaine. I know he was drinking alcohol. I know he was going to clubs and stuff like that. Thinking that he has unlimited money. He doesn't need to save it. So that really came back at him, biting him in the butt. Really seriously. That attitude. But, I tried to help him. He didn't listen to me. So I can't help people if they don't want to help themselves, right? So he kicked that businessman out, and then he didn't have a businessman anymore, and then it all fell apart because my brother and I are not business people. It's as simple as that. If you find someone to work with who is good with the business part of it, you better hang on to that person. So Paul is not very good with the business part either, because he's not very assertive. I am more assertive than he is, but he is better in terms of holding on to money, furniture, house. He's better at being cautious. So it's very important, all of these things, in terms of business. We can't be reckless and say, oh, I have so much money coming in right now. I don't need to save any. I can just give everything away, like that fairy tale of Sterntaler. My grandmother told me about. She told me that fairy tale by memory when I was a little child. When I was like 2 or 3, she told me about Sterntaler. Sterntaler was going into the forest, and she felt sorry with every animal and every dwarf and every fairy coming across. And she gave them all of her possessions, her food, and she gave away her jacket, and then she froze to death in the winter time. And that happened to George Price in that psychology experiment. This is hefty. This is hardcore. It's like a horror movie. So there are some people, there are not very many, there are some people that give everything away. And there are also a lot of people in the boomer generation. We have friends like that, Debbie and Philip. They have become homeless. They literally sleep under their trailer because she filled up the trailer with junk. Okay, and all of that, both of them, they cannot function at all. So I think Philip gives stuff away, and Debbie puts everything into storage facilities and spends all of her money that she gets from the government on the storage facilities. Yeah, I'm not laughing about that. It's just a situational comedy. It's not funny, actually. This is serious mental illness, schizoid. A lot of homeless people are ending up like that. So, in order to make it through life, we have to be very, very extremely mindful on how we move things forward. We need to be extremely mindful on how we spend our money. Some people, they think, it doesn't matter, I'll get more, whatever. It's just this time, my mother, for example, it's just this time we have some expenses. It has to be done, right? Not even comparing prices, no, just buying the most expensive of all. This needs to be done, right? They would buy another garden pruner when the old one just had some screw loose, literally, like my parents. They got some screws loose. And the gardener comes in and says, why do you want to buy another one? I just tighten up the screw, right? And then it works like new. Oh, cool. They don't even get the idea. And that was before my mother got like Joe Biden. I think my mother is the same age as Joe Biden and just as ready for the convalescent home. Yeah, I call it the Ronald Reagan illness. People, they're in denial. Their entire life, they're living some kind of delusion, total denial about anything anything going wrong in the world or in their lives. Just deny it and act like the problem doesn't exist, right? Yeah, and those are the people that will end up, they will literally put their brain on hold. When people do denial, they stop using their brain. And then, whatever you don't use, when you rest, you rust. That's an old saying, that applies to the brain, that also applies to muscles and so on. So you have to use your brain and your body, frequently, every day. Do belly dancing and brain using. Very important. Use the brain. Don't just lean back and smoke one. That doesn't work. That's not gonna get you anywhere. It's not gonna be moving you forward in any way. People who have overdone LSD and mushrooms, they end up, I've tried to explain that in the chat room. They end up where the brain isn't even trying anymore is not even making an effort anymore in thinking out of the box. Because you put the drug in that makes you think out of the box for 10 minutes, right? And as soon as the drug lets off, you're back where you were before, very closed-minded, even more so than before, because there's a habituation happening. The brain will become dependent on the drug. The brain doesn't make an effort of introspection and mindfulness on its own anymore. And just this is the case with everything, whether people take narcotics, pain medicine, then the body thinks, oh, I don't need to make my own pain medicine, I'll just take the drug, right? That's what the body thinks. And that's habituation, that's dependency. Okay. That's addiction. And that's not good. It's not just that people get addicted and are dependent on it. They make whatever they were trying to fix worse. That's a fact. I'm giving you some real, concrete, medical, biological facts with this. Don't do it. Don't take any kind of substance to fix anything. Particularly, what I'm talking about right now is any kind of drug that is pharma-based or that is made in some kind of tweaker lab or that is concocted from narcotics or whatever people use. Any of those that the drug mafia makes money on. So stay away from that. Very far away from that. That is my message to all of you, particularly to the children out there. Stay far away from drugs and anyone who is doing drugs. Don't do that to your precious bodies. Okay. Go into meditation. Make your brain and your body work to shed out endorphins, your own endorphins. Listen to people that are doing that, like Wim Hof. He practices this rigorously. You can do it. You can do all kinds of things if you want to. If you go into meditation, you can shed out all kinds of amazing endorphins. You put yourself into that state of total relaxation and into a state of self-affirmation that says, I know you brain are powerful, you can do it. And guess what? The brain thanks you for that, and the brain does it. The brain will produce all kinds of amazing things. You will be very, very surprised. Okay, so this is the truth. Powerful information. Use it for your own life. Empower yourself. Then you don't have to be mad anymore. You don't have to be frustrated anymore. You don't have to be coveting something. You don't have to be envious or jealous. You don't have to feel unempowered. You don't have to feel stepped on anymore by anyone. You can do it. You can do it. Okay, you can step out of that society that tells you that you and them are unempowered. Okay, you can step out. You don't need that. Okay, that's not your identity. Your identity is you're a living being, and you are infinitely precious. Okay? That is my message to you, to all of you, to the whole world. Okay? Take care. Bye bye.